Hey, Jen Pachichi here. Let's paint a quick and easy silhouetted mountain tree kind of scene. I don't exactly know what we're doing. I make this up as I go. I do know that I'm going to make a mixture of yellows. I have a Naples yellow and a medium kind of yellow that I'm just going to brush across with my size 12 round brush. And then I'm going to scoop up some petal pink, brush that across, let those mix together as they will. I don't love the reflection this light is making. I'll just go back to that. Hopefully that's bright enough for you. Then I'm gonna mix some petal pink with some red. Got a little bit of a darker color now. Just letting that all bleed down. And then finally, I'm gonna mix some rose colored pink into that color I'd already made, and just go ahead and go like this. And now I'm gonna let it dry completely, and then I'll come back with a dark color to complete the painting. It's dry, we're back. Let's get some dark colors. I am using Payne's Gray. I think I'm gonna use my Payne's Gray, which is just a really dark color that's almost kind of like black, but like not quite totally black. You could also use totally black. Totally black. Payne's Gray has more of a blue tone. I actually just mixed a little bit of black into it. I don't know why, I'm experimenting. You're gonna need this paint to be pretty thick and not transparent. And look what I did. I think I just like made a smattering of it on my thing. Let's ignore that. Okay, I'm using my size 6 brush now instead of my 12. Always around, always a Princeton heritage. And you're just gonna make like the ridges of some mountains. Now, I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains, so I see these constantly. I leave the house, this is what I see. But if you do not, then really all it is a kind of soft, curved, uneven line. That's really all it is. Just move your brush like this, and you got it. You're good to go. So I'm gonna fill in all the way to the foreground with that dark color. If your color is not dark enough, you can go back in and add more once it's dry. The more water you add to watercolor paint, the more transparent it becomes. Okay, so now we have this, but I mean, that's kind of boring. There's not a lot going on there. So I'm going to add a tree in the foreground. And once again, I'm going to be adding something that I see where I live, kind of I forget the name of it. It's an evergreen tree. I looked it up one time. I've already forgotten. So I'm going to balance my arm here. I'm going to put one arm here, and I'm going to balance my painting arm just to keep my hand out of the wet paint and to just give me kind of a pivot place. I'm going to start from down here. It doesn't matter because it's all the same color. And I'm going to draw up to about there. And now I'm going to hold my brush sort of sideways like this and just tap in some branches. Just give the impression of branches. You've probably seen me paint these before, or perhaps you haven't. Welcome if you have not. And we'll just go back and forth, just holding that brush sideways, just tapping. Not all of the taps that you make even really have to touch the center there. They could just, you can do a random one out there. It's all good. No matter what it is, it's all good. Get a little wider as you go down, but these trees don't get all that wide. And then you could pretend it's going down, but you can't see it, so it doesn't matter. I feel like we need something of visual interest over on this side. Maybe we'll just make a little stand of trees in the distance. I'm gonna grab, if I could find it, a skinny paintbrush. And I'm gonna get even more of that color. If you have a good new round brush with a good tip on it, that would work just fine. This is a, what do you call that? Like one of those stippling kind of brushes. And I'm just gonna draw up a few lines, real thin lines, like so. And then with a little bit more on my brush, I'm gonna just give the impression that there are some more pine trees or balsam trees or some kind of evergreens back here. Just by going back and forth roughly from one of the many little lines that I drew, just like that. Actually going to use my skinny little brush to make this a little bit taller. There we go. Maybe fill in a little bit more here. I got something there. Am I happy with this? I'm not sure yet. I always like to let it, the only word I can think of is fester. I don't want to fester, but I do want to let it sit for a minute. But I think that's good. Even though I'm pretty happy, I feel like I want there to be something more. I'm trying to decide if I want there to be some hints of clouds maybe, or if I want there to be like stars in the sky, although I think it's too early for that, maybe a little moon. I'm mixing up a kind of a medium pink color with some petal pink, and I'm gonna have my size 6 round brush again and hold it sideways again. That's me moving my bleed proof white. Please ignore that. And I'm gonna make a little cloud shape. I'm gonna touch some Naples yellow to the top, and I'm gonna touch a little bit of a darker pink on the bottom. And then I'm gonna grab some Naples yellow and just make a little kind of cloud shape there. Make one there. I love painting clouds because they can really be any shape. Just adding some touches of hint of that same medium pink down below there. Same here. I'm gonna add a little more yellow there. And I'm actually gonna grab my cloth here and just tap back a little bit. I feel like maybe there's a little too much color. Tap, 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 tap. That's good. And I'm gonna take my skinny brush. This is still wet. I don't want to get involved with that, but maybe do a few hints of pink there. Get my yellow, do a few little really fine lines. Just using a little Naples yellow, doing a couple skinny lines, trying not to touch that black because I don't want it to bleed. Okay, that I think is pretty good. It's probably a little too early to take this off, but I'm going to do it for the sake of this video. I like to pull my tape away at a 90-degree angle to try to avoid ripping. There you go. Whoops, I shouldn't try to pick it up. There you go. Pretty little nighttime sunset cloud silhouette scene.